welcome back to my channel. I'm Anushka, and if you're one of those who gets intimidated by the number of pages a book has or shies away from reading thick books, then this video is just for you, because in this video I'll be sharing with you all some books under 100 pages, some novellas, some short stories, some books which are worth your. So the first book on this list is less than even 70 pages, but I would advise you not to focus on the exact number of pages, because number of pages vary from publication to publication. For example, I have a copy of a book which in the same list, which is around 102 pages. However, when I search online, the same book is mentioned for around 112 pages. So it depends on publication to publication, the font that they use, the size of the book that they use. All right. Finally, the first one on this list is We Should All Be Feminists. And I'd say that we should all read this book because it paints the exact picture. If you want to learn about feminism and equality, then this is the book you should grab right now. It's extremely short because it's actually a translation of the author's TEDx speech, which is why it is clear, concise, easy to read, not tough vocabulary, and most importantly, it's persuasive. Also, what I liked in this book is that the author has shared her real life experiences growing up in Nigeria and facing gender discrimination, which is quite relatable. I mean, gender discrimination is common worldwide. And the solution that she provides, that we should raise our kids equally. We should give them the same morals, the same etiquettes. Why do we want our girls to behave different? And the second one on this list is, if you have been following my channel, you know it. It's none other than Animal Farm. It's one of my favorites. A book, actually a classic, which does not feel like reading a classic. It's funny, it's witty, full of humor, enjoyable to read. I mean, imagine this scenario. You're reading that animals are speaking to each other. It's actually a satire on Russian Revolution, but even if you don't understand the satiety in this whole story, the story in itself is just enjoyable to read, and the moral as well this story has: greediness, cruelty, discrimination, problems associated with power, politics, all that stuff. It is such a great read. It is one of my favorites, and I will highly recommend you guys to read this one as well. The third one on this list is Blue Umbrella by Ruskin Bond, an extremely popular book and a bestseller on Amazon, and for the right reasons. It's under 80 pages if I'm not wrong, but this is a novella, okay? And it's a story of a village girl named Vinya, and one fine day comes across a group of city people, and they have this blue umbrella, and after seeing that umbrella, she wants to have that umbrella. She just falls in love with umbrella, and she's fascinated with it. So she exchanges her locket with that umbrella. And then she roams around with that umbrella in her village, and everybody in her village also just loves that umbrella, likes this cheery girl. At the end, the moral of the story is kindness. And the fourth one on this list is The Little Prince. You guys know I have recommended it time and again. It's such a book, again, a feel-good book. It's a novella, and the story is about this alien, a little prince who has landed on Earth, in desert, and there he finds a pilot whose plane has crashed, and we just have these two people, and they share, and the little prince shares his journeys on different planets. That hey, there's this, and the chapters are divided on different planets, his journey, and he tells that hey, there was this person who behaved this way, and you learn from each and every chapter, from each and every story. It has a moral. The basic moral is never to lose your innocence, and this is just a wonderful book. It's one of my favorites, easy to read, and yeah, Little Prince is just one of my favorite fictional characters. So I'll highly recommend you guys to read The Little Prince, even if you're an adult. And on fifth number, we have Ghachar Gochar. It's again a novella, and it's a mystery crime book. When I finished this book, I was like, what did just happen? The story starts at a different place, at a different angle, different scene in a cafe, and you feel like, okay, this is how it will progress. But then things change. The author actually misdirects you. and then it turns into a domestic thriller, domestic drama. We meet the narrator's family, his wife, and a wife who has different ideologies. Being poor, they suddenly have become rich because of their Sona business. Sona business is spice business, and how the dynamics changes in this family is the story. And this book is full of metaphors. Highly recommend you guys to read this one out. And now I have few books over 100 pages, but less than 150 or 160 pages, okay, I promise. But as I said, don't fixate on the number of pages, because I have read some books which are less than 100 pages, but I did not enjoy them. So I'm just sharing the books and the stories which I enjoy and I feel like which are easy to read. And the first in this category, like over 100 pages, is The Theory of Everything by Stephen Hawking. Oh my god, this is such an interesting book full of knowledge. I mean, I read it recently. It's a bestseller. I don't know why I didn't read it first, but from the first page itself, I've highlighted this book, like each and every page. Even if you're not a science student, you will still understand this book, because it's written in this way. It's written for laymen, for ordinary people like us. There's talk of everything like cosmology, Big Bang, black holes, universe expansion. It looks intimidating, but trust me, it's so interesting to read. The author has made everything so easy that why do we only understand 3 dimensions, not the 4th dimension. Also, I got to know that one of our Indian scientists actually calculated the mass of a cold star, and he got a Nobel Prize for it, and it's known as Chandrasekhar limit. I wasn't aware of this. So yeah, and a lot of other things, like a lot of other things. So I will highly recommend you guys to read this book. Next, I have a book on Holocaust, that is Man's Search for Meaning. This is an intense book, disturbing, powerful, yet a book which I'll highly recommend you to read. Why? Because there is hope in everything. I mean, okay, so if you want to understand human nature, human psychology, how people can survive even in the worst of conditions, then you should read this book. This is also written by a psychologist, and he has shared his study. He was in this situation, he dealt with the same scenario. So he in the first half of this book, he shares his experience living in Holocaust, gas chambers, his friends being burned up, people he knew. He does not know anything about his family. I mean, it is so tragic, it is so disturbing to read, it's emotional. But towards the end, there is data, okay? There is a lot of, research that was done on this story, and he shares all that stuff. So it's definitely a book which I will highly recommend you guys to read. Though it is strong, disturbing, but it is a must read. And yeah, last but not the least, I have an underrated book in my opinion. It is a great book. I don't know why not many people are talking about it, and it's I've Never Been Unhappier by Shaheen Bhatt, Alia Bhatt's sister. This book is written by her, and first of all, the writing. I mean, Shaheen is a great writer. The words, vocabulary, and the way she has written this book, format she's included, it's creative. Okay, first of all, she's included pictures of her letters, handwritten letters, and that feels, you form a connection with the book, with the author. Also, she does not shy away from sharing all her experiences. She's brutally honest. And the different thing is, she does not romanticize depression. She's just being honest, and she also educates you about depression, that hey, it's okay if you have been diagnosed. This is the way to move forward. It's not a fictional story, it's the real story. And yeah, that's it with this video. Share your opinions if you have read any of these books, or what are the other books you'd recommend people to read, short stories, thin books. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you later with another video. Until then.